Okay, we're here at TRE. This is appointment number 1, and we're here with Mount to Coast. So if you haven't heard of Mount to Coast, they kind of burst onto the scene in this last year, and this is the flagship shoe, right? The R1. So Anna, tell me about the R1.
Yeah, so Mount to Coast was, it's a brand for ultra runners. So everything about this shoe is designed for those longer distance pursuits. You've got on the R1, this is a racing model. So what they did is a dual lacing system here, so that when your feet swell, which every ultramarathoner knows, your feet are going to swell in those 100 milers, you can adjust for the forefoot and the midfoot. And then, you know, with the R1, part of the reason that they're designed for long distance is a lot of shoes, they say, is, you know, they last 300 to 500 miles. These are athlete tested to last over 800 miles. One of our athletes right now, former Olympian Ben Blankenship, he's logging like 1,000 plus miles on these shoes. So the reason that is able to happen is because of this midsole technology. It's a proprietary technology called light cell, a sort of supercritical foaming that allows the shoes to last a much longer time than your average running shoe. There's a real big sustainability through line with Mount to Coast on thinking, you know, if shoes last longer, that changes consumer habits to buy shoes that are going to last much longer, of course.
And 500 miles is usually my cutoff for most shoes, and so this is some pretty good innovation here.
Yeah,
the R1 was the star of 2024, the faster racing shoe. There's also the S1, the P1. We have 2 more shoes coming out in 2025, so do we get into it?
That's right, absolutely. We've got Vibram Mega Grip and Light Base on the outer sole. So obviously that's for really strong grip here. You've got 4mm shark tooth lugs.
It's a light trail shoe. Yeah, it's a light trail shoe, and that's what I thought when I first saw the Mount to Coast shoes. I was like, wait, ultra road? Like that's kind of a niche thing. So now that seems like the natural progression to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so grippy outsole. Who's this going to be for? It's going to be for like competitive trail athletes more so?
Really, it can go from your everyday trail runner to competitive. It does have that, if you're logging huge miles, it does have that dual lacing system again. So if you need a little bit more splay and a little bit more room, you've got the option to do that. It is going to be using that light cell midsole again. So these, you know, again, we've got athletes testing these for over 800 miles so far. So they're holding up with that energy return and that cushion.
Okay, and T1 for trail.
T1 for trail.
I love an intuitive name, man. That's hard to get in the shoe world. Okay.
And then on the upper, you've got a Kevlar yarn mix. Okay. So you've got some like real durability built in. Obviously for trail, any of those scuffs, thorns, whatever you're running into, but it's super lightweight. So usually uppers on trail, you see like, to compensate for durability, they've got to make it a little bit heavier, but these are extremely lightweight because of that Kevlar yarn mix.
Okay, and so that's our T1. Yep. We have an H1.
Now the H1.
Okay, what's H? H is hike?
H is hybrid.
Hybrid, let's see.
Your road to trail shoe.
Okay, it's also light, okay.
Super lightweight. I mean, like, this is definitely, out of all of our shoes so far, this is the lightest weight. And this shoe is actually, in theory, completely compostable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's actually made of our new midsole technology called Circle Cell. You'll see it here. And it uses 100% renewable feedstock. And this is road to trail. So you've got some like decent grip. This is our proprietary Versa grip. But you know, this is your everyday shoe. This is if you're kind of going on a blended run around your neighborhood, but it's got some dirt paths included. Great shoe for it. Yeah.
So I'll show myself here. I'm not very much trail runner. I'm way more of a road runner. I would wear this because it's light and it doesn't feel like it has so much to it that you feel like you should be going over tree roots.
Yeah,
it's like a good gravel shoe, right? You can go over gravel pretty
Definitely. And really, like, I mean, if you look at our R1, the tread is so different, but we actually have a lot of people running on gravel in the R1 and still logging huge miles. Like it's not deteriorating under gravel just because it has those different, you know, this got a lug and this is just smooth. Okay,
can I put you on the spot? One quick last question.
Go for it.
Any experimentation with carbon yet, or is that?
Yes, so one of our athletes, and this is part of why Mount to Coast is such a special brand right now, they're small enough, and the design team is, I mean, we've got over 80 years of experience in the design team. They've worked at every brand in innovation, so they're small enough and they're nimble enough to start really playing with some of those elements. So one of our athletes, for a few races ago, he put in a carbon plate in the trail shoe.
Okay.
Yes, and he's fast, so he needs it, and it performed really well. Okay. So, you know, it's kind of a fun, like, foreshadowing of where the brand could go. But right now, I would I think our concentration is not so much on like providing shoes for the fastest athletes. Our concentration is providing shoes that are going to last really long. Like they're getting really good dollar per mile average. Like the value in these shoes is incredible at $160 price point, and they're lasting you over 800 miles. There's not another shoe doing that.
Okay, well, my goal for 2025 is to put at least 1,000 kilometers, 600 miles, if you're an American, on the R1. And so I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, please do.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.